The ink traveler. Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a very talented artist who loved to paint magical worlds. One day while he was painting, a single drop of ink fell from his pen onto the watercolors below. The artist sighed and dipped his brush into the ink bottle to continue painting. But as he did so, the ink on the watercolors began to glow and swirl around his brush. Before the artist knew it, the ink had transformed into a tiny boat and it was sailing away on the watercolors like a magical journey. The boat traveled across oceans and rivers, through valleys and over hills, all made of watercolors. The artist watched in amazement as his ink creation sailed on, exploring all the wonders of the colorful world he had created. After a while, the ink boat came across a city made entirely of stars. It sailed through the streets, past houses with glowing windows and trees with sparkling leaves. The ink boat then floated upwards towards the sky, leaving the city of stars behind. Up in the sky, the ink met with shooting stars and they raced and played together until they reached a giant cloud. As the ink boat approached the cloud, it began to take shape, forming into an enormous dragon. The ink had become a part of the cloud dragon, and together they soared through the sky, diving and swooping through the clouds. After a while, the dragon landed in a forest filled with tall, beautiful trees. The ink boat sailed along the river that flowed through the forest, and as it did, it noticed that the trees were all made of music notes. The ink boat continued its journey until it reached a waterfall. As it sailed under the waterfall, the ink began to fade away, becoming one with the water. Suddenly, the artist felt a jolt and he woke up from his dream. He looked down at his paintbrush and saw that it was covered in ink. With a smile on his face, he dipped his brush into the ink bottle and began to paint a beautiful landscape. As he painted, he could hear the sound of rushing water and the faint glow of stars twinkling in the distance. And as he added the finishing touches to his painting, he saw the tiny ink boat sailing towards him, bringing with it the magical memories of its journey. The artist smiled and continued painting, knowing that each stroke of his brush would take him on a new adventure. The end.